Hello, sixth grade. Okay, so today we're going to be doing a review for our benchmark tomorrow. A lot of questions on our benchmark tomorrow are going to be really tricky, and so I wanted to give you questions that'll be like them so that you're prepared for them tomorrow. Remember, these are really hard problems, so it's okay if you're struggling with them, just try your best. All right, so looking at the worksheet, the first problem says, the table below shows the number of dogs sold at a pet fair and the amount of money collected. And then we have a table with the number of days, the number of dogs, and the amount collected in dollars. And the question is, if each dog costs the same price, what is the cost per dog? All right, so I need to find the cost per dog. That means I need to have the cost for one dog. Looking at my table, I know that it costs $375 for 50 dogs, $315 for 42, etc. So what I need to do is divide the amount collected in dollars by the number of dogs sold. But there are a lot of options in the table, a lot of numbers I could divide by and get the same answer. So I want to pick what I think will be the easiest number. So I'm going to think to myself, we have 50, 42, 18, or 38. I think that 50 is going to be the easiest to divide by. They're all going to be hard, but 50 is the only one that's a multiple of 10, and it's easier to divide by multiples of 10 than 42, 18, or 38. So if you think another number is easier, go ahead and try that. I want to try 50. So I'm going to say 375. I have $375, and I need to divide that by 50 to see how much one dog will cost. So I need to divide 375 by 50. This is the exact same thing as just regular long division, except we just have a bigger divisor. So I'm going to ask myself, how many times does 50 go into 3? 0. So 50 times 0 is 0. Subtract, and I have 3. Bring down the 7. Now, how many times does 50 go into 37? Again, 50 is too large, so it's going to be 0. 50 times 0 is 0. Subtract. I now have 375. All right, so I need to see how many times 50 goes into 375. What I'm going to do is roll my multiples of 50 over on the side. So 1 times 50 equals 50. 2 times 50 equals 100. 3 times 50 equals 150. I can just keep adding 50. 200. 4 times 50 equals 300. 5 times 50. Oh, I just messed up. Okay. 5 times 50 equals 250. 6 times 50 equals 300. 7 times 50 equals 350. 8 times 50 equals 400. And I'll stop there. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so now I'm going to look at which one of my multiples of 50 gets me closest to 50 without going over 50. And that's going to be right here, 350. So 50 goes into 375 7 times, and I subtract 350, end up with 25. Right here, remember I have a decimal, so I need to bring my decimal up top, bring down my next number. Now I need to figure out how many times 250 goes into 250, so I'll just look back at my multiples. Right here, it goes in exactly 5 times. 5 times 50, which I already have over here, is 250. Subtract 250, and I have 0. Bring down my next number. 50 goes into 0 times. Okay, so my answer is going to be $7.50. So one dog is going to cost $7.50. I know this is really hard, but I also know that you guys can definitely do it because you guys are so great at division now that it's just one extra step of a little bit of a bigger divisor. All right, so now that I know that one dog costs $7.50, I'm going to erase all of this. Now I need to figure out, write an equation that can be used to find y, the amount of money collected for selling X dogs. So I need to have the amount of money for something here times the number of dogs. So y equals the amount of money. I know x equals the number of dogs. And then I'm going to think to myself, okay, what do I need to multiply the number of dogs by in order to figure out the amount of money? And if I know that if each dog costs $7.50, I'm going to need to multiply the number of dogs by $7.50 or 7.5. So y equals 7 5/10 or 50 hundredths x. All right, the problems 2 and 3 are going to be very similar to this one, just dividing with larger divisors where you need to find the easiest number to divide by. You don't need to, but it's going to make your life easier. So I want to look at number 4 quickly. So number 4 says Miss Perez can knit Mikey 2 hats in 8 hours. Write an equation that can be used to find H, the amount of hats Miss Perez can make in Y hours. So I know that Mikey can knit 2 hats in 8 hours. So in order to write an equation, you guys have learned this with Miss Perez, in order to write the equation, the first thing we need to do is find the unit rate. So I need to find the number of hats or how many hours does it take Mikey to make 1 hat? So you guys have been doing your tables. Hats, hours. So if Mikey knits 2 hats in 8 hours, I need to know, okay, how many hours will it take Mikey to knit 1 hat? So I know that to go from here to here, I've got to divide by 2. So I need to do the same thing up here. Divide by 2, and I'll have 4. So it takes Miss Perez 4 hours to knit 1 hat. All right, so now that I have my unit rate, I'm going to need to write an equation that can be used to find H, the number of hats Miss Perez can make in Y hours. So the number of hats Miss Perez can make in Y hours. So Y, the number of hats, or H, the number of hats. I went over how to write equations in the past problem, so I want you to try and figure out this equation on your own because we did this in the last one. Once you have your unit rate, which is going to be 1 hat for 4 hours, or if you want to flip it around, it'd be 4 hours for 1 hat, then you can write your equation. Go ahead and ask me if you have questions, but I want you to try it on your own since I just did one equation with you. All right, good luck on this worksheet. I know it's really tough, so just do your best. It is going to prepare us for the benchmark tomorrow. Good luck.